Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is ZloyXP, and how the heck did you not know who Zombie Cleo is?
I was quite entertained by the recap this time because people were asking me if I was new, and the answer is of course yes.
We wouldn't be quite so shocked by this if we didn't have her in like every other episode of the recap.
I have a long-running feud with Zloy, so enjoy that.
Next thing you'll be telling me you don't know who Wormman is, which, well, I guess no one knows who Wormman is, so fair enough, I guess. But still, at least we definitely know that it isn't Zedaf, because obviously Zedaf is Wormman's public agent, having now opened a Wormman merchandise store in the community area. So if you always wanted a t-shirt or a mug with your friendly neighborhood, basically naked, definitely not Zedaf person, come on over and grab some. Also, pay for it, maybe.
I mean, look, this is kind of what Wormman would wear on his days off, when he's just hanging around the house. Very comfy, very cool, very chic.
And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week, and let's do it in Spoon Vision. Because having reached episode 100 of Season 5, Mumbo Jumbo dedicates an entire episode to what's essentially a clip show, or a recap if you will, of all the best bits from his Season 5 series, including a clip from the previous episode in which he built a tree farm. Even Mumbo, with all his redstone smarts, is surprised how easily the thing comes together, and it even sorts itself into two neat cubes which he can dismantle for an inventory's worth of oak logs. So now he can't see the trees for the wood.
This thing seems to be behaving much better and much smoother.
On a similar note, Cubfan has reached episode 100 this week, but instead of putting together the video equivalent of a greatest hits album, Cub actually goes through all of his server projects one by one, grabbing snapshots of how they look nowadays, basically going for the where are they now format. And where Cub is now is the very top of the custom advancements tree, sitting there having climbed every single branch. Now everything that is doable in the custom achievements pack has been done, and there's only several secret challenges left, and one final thing to do, the Stuff and Things challenge, that requires you to place literally every block in the game at least once. Funnily enough, by the beginning of this episode, he's already more than halfway through. So whoever gets him in the Secret Santa is going to have quite a challenge. What do you get for the man who has it all?
And the question is Rendog's base better than Iskal's? So let's just ask Jarvis that. Here we go. I doubt that. Oh, he doubts that.
And yes, the Secret Santa is very much a thing, now that False Symmetry has put together an official headquarters for it, and it only makes sense that this secret headquarters looks like a giant Christmas pudding, which is totally a thing, guys, educate yourself. It's also the second giant confection in the community area, since Mumbo's birthday cake has still kinda stuck around.
And then someone could build a giant carrot, someone could build a giant potato. We just have food surrounding this area. It would have no reason, but it would look pretty cool.
That's what you get for building in a desert biome. This year, however, one can not only randomly assign themselves a well-wisher, but also pull a secondary lever to randomly determine if that person was naughty or nice, meaning half the presents might end up being pranks, which we expected from False, really. Having spread the cheer of the season, False returns to her Nether Hub projects to work on a tunnel to Python's lair, and it's only fitting to make an artificial ravine under a glass floor in there. His base is 80% underground, after all. Python himself returns to the server after a busy couple of months and immediately scores himself a free elytra from the aforementioned birthday cake. But it won't get much use right now because Python goes back underground to complete another corner staircase in his cavernous base.
Okay, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Let's convert them to path. Boom, 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 boom.
During a quick visit to the beach resort, a certain convex book catches his attention, and pretty soon he's off to the cathedral to donate 2 elixirs of life he claims will cure all ills. Which, actually they will, because it's a bucket of milk.
Decided to get a second one, obviously, because there's 2 of them. You got Sky, you got Cub. They who drinketh the elixir cures all.
Joe Hills is the only hermit so far to accept the Convex's invitation to bury himself alive, but that's still not an excuse for him not to participate in False's Secret Santa.
False Symmetry voice. Engage. Welcome to Secret Santa 2017.
Once he's all signed up, he returns to the Nether Hub to add more red sky to the red ceiling, but when he runs out of red dye, he finds some at a somewhat unexpected source.
I could have literally just stood here this entire time and gotten more flowers than I got. Probably by doing it the other way. Guys, Stress Monster is an actual genius, okay?
Probably the funniest of all people to visit the Vex Church this week is Wells Knight himself. The best part is the Vex heads have even sent him an invite to his own cathedral that's like 10 blocks away from where the invite is. For now, Wells decides against pulling down the decorations though, as the ragtag circus of this has brought the place more visitors than ever before.
The colors have all been changed over to blue and green. This is gonna take me hours to clean up. Just to like replace all the glass and replace all the blocks and stuff. It's gonna take me like probably several hours just to clean it up. I'm not gonna do it today though.
Instead, Wells opts for trying out the new Minecraft textures recently released by Mojang for download, as well as helping out with Python's order at the build shop. They even meet up to discuss it.
Yeah. So, ugly box. Don't really like it there. Doesn't fit in with anything, and it's been sat there for like 20 or 30 episodes.
Azuma, still a tiny bit under the weather, takes it easy for now and only somewhat overcomplicates the redstone needed to make his upwards boating nether tunnel work. This does, however, push him into a realization that he might need a string farm, and why not grab some spider heads while he's at it. So there you have it, a cave spider and regular spider farm just because he needed some tripwires, both built after he actually needed them. Well, the heads are worth it at least.
Now we can look like this when we hang out on the server. That'd be kind of scary if we wander into another player.
But who needs a spider farm when you can farm everything? Impulse SV kicks off this week by time-lapsing 4 huge platforms around his Atlantis base, each of which is going to be a self-flushing hostile mob farm. Even after building just one of these monstrosities, the results speak for themselves, and Impulse has to scramble to put together some bulk storage for all the drops he's getting. This doesn't stop him getting fancy with the light displays and heading over to sign up for Secret Santa.
I guess this is supposed to be like pudding or something? Holiday pudding?
Zombie Cleo has a tad more trouble working out her Christmas lights, trying to hook up some redstonery for the zombie spawner head farm that does not give you heads.
But that's okay. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. I still made a thing and it's still awesome.
What it does give is a perfectly valid and convenient excuse to resurrect the zombie labs from Season 2 with their white sterile interiors and white bedsheets because quartz slabs are overrated. TFC musters his courage and sets foot in the end, determined to get some chorus flowers first and foremost, but then striking out in search of an end city. Unfortunately, the residents of said city are not going to let him past without a fight.
Okay, this is going to get old really fast.
After a second attempt with less armor fails, TFC brews up a cocktail of his favourite potions and returns with some Dutch courage. It all pays off when he's able to break into an end ship and steal the elytra right out from under their noses. But somewhere between that episode and the next, someone seems to have been messing with the loot tables, and the shulkers are being a little selfish about their shells. Scar, meanwhile, still has the opposite of that problem. Having sorted some of it out, Scar moves on from raising the roofs to shaking the grounds as the Scar City finally grows some landscape around the pointy buildings. It's custom trees and bushery all round, just gotta make sure there's no catnip in the grass. Similarly, Tango Tech has faced the problem of incorporating his bits into his other bits, seeing as how his redstone farms are sticking out of the most beautiful base according to Iskal 2017 like a sore thumb. He goes exactly the opposite route, however, and instead of evening them with the ground, covers one up with a giant horny tower.
Overall, this tower is just, I'm loving it.
And finally we have Rendog, who wants to build a bridge over troubled water, but first he'll need water, and inevitably, trouble finds him along the way. Cue the explosion!
So I'm gonna mine all of this normal ice out of this river in the middle of the night. Hopefully nothing's gonna go wrong. I'll keep the camera on just in case I get blown up or something. But yeah, I'm gonna try and fill these 2 shulker boxes with ice.
Because he's not as tough as the Ice Road trucker people, Ren enlists false Ventura pet detectives' help to find his freshly exploded self before his pet rock despawns forever. But with that taken care of, it's back to Fred the Kingdom minigame to use all the ice and some silk-touched ore blocks to create an enchanted river. If you look closer though, it's equal parts blood, sweat, and tears. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name has been and will always be Pixel Riffs. We teamed up this week to escape Dr. Splice's lab, a Bedrock Edition map where you hit punch people into the face, and you'll find a link to that in the end cards. Don't forget to leave a like to help support the channel, subscribe so you won't miss future recaps, and share this video with the Hermitcraft fans in your life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.